So good afternoon, everyone, or good morning, or good night, wherever you are. My name's Sarah Le-Fevre, and I'm the editor of Ludogogy magazine, which organises these live play sessions. And I'm really happy today to welcome Youssef Jbel from NowEdge, who's come to show us his StratEdge strategic thinking game, which is based in the world of commodities, and in particular in oil and gas. I don't know if you'd like to sort of explain a little bit more and give a little bit of a background to yourself, Youssef, because, yeah.
Yes, sure. Thank you very much, Sarah, for this introduction. So, yes, I have co-founded NowEdge to develop tools for facilitators and coach, as I said before, to create more impact in the learning and development space. So today we have a catalog of games. One of them is StratEdge, which is about strategic decision making in the commodity sector. The oil is one application, but it could be customized to any other commodity sector. So today we will be playing with the game as 4 teams. So each team would be constituted of 2 or 3 to 5 people. It's a game based on multiple rounds, and on each round you have to make, let's say, strategic decisions regarding your company in a competitive world. So yes, we will be using the breakout rooms in Zoom so that each team will be able to discuss during every round. Each team will be able to discuss and making the right decisions for their company. So just before giving some further details about the game, if that's okay with you, I have just prepared some questions to know more about you. So I would be really happy if you could join this session on Slido. I don't know if you have ever used this tool, but I like to use it to know more about the participants. And that will help me give the right messages depending on what are your expectations about this demonstration. So I don't know if you see a link or a QR code on the screen. So you can either scan the QR code or join slido.com and insert this session code here. And once you have joined, I will see the number of people that have joined here, and we will start with one first question to know more about you and your use of games in the learning space. So right now we have 4 people that were able to join the poll, 6. And the majority have already used. The first question is, have you ever tried a game about strategic decision making in the past? So right now 67% already did. We'll wait for a few seconds more to have everybody. So right now it's 50-50.
Oh, half and half.
Okay, that's good. So meaning we will have people discovering the topic and other that already have some great experience. Okay, I don't know if someone has issues to access to the poll, or it's okay for everybody. Don't hesitate to tell me if you are stuck in the middle of joining the session. Okay, so maybe we can go to the next question. That's okay for you, Sarah? Can I move on? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, and so next, can you, in a few words, let us know what are your expectations of this demo in the topic of game-based learning and serious games? So it's an open, it's a word cloud. So so you can put any keywords comes to your mind regarding what you would like to see and experiment in this demonstration.
Yeah, it's one. I've just realised it's one word or one phrase per box, isn't it? I was trying to put them all in one place.
Yeah, it's limited number of words, so
yeah.
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 Okay, so looks like that you are expecting to have fun, of course, to learn about the game mechanics, to test, to talk about decision making, to have fun, yes, sure. Fundamentals of strategy, game design, maybe how you can customize this to other topics, other use case. So we can talk about this because there is a customization layer on this game in terms of sector, company names. You can brand this to your client's logo, etc. Collective intelligence, perfect. So thank you very much for this contribution. I think we will be completely aligned about these expectations. So that's a very good point. And if during the demonstration there is any specific topic you want to dig in and talk about, I would be pleased to hear about your expectations and your question. And last but not least, how do you define yourself and what is your area of expertise? Just to know more about your background. That will help when we have our different discussions during this demonstration, or maybe even after that, if there is any further connection. So we have an L&D consultant, a game designer and learning professional, facilitator. Curriculum development, learning consultant, online training development, training content creator in leadership, a techie, learning about game and design, finance consultants.
Got a nice variety of different.
Yes, L&D consultant in the corporate and NFP focus. I don't know what's NFP. Can you
Not for
let us know?
profit.
Oh, okay, not for profits. Okay. Design sprint facilitator. Yes, Sarah. Sorry.
That doesn't mean it was for me. I just know what NFP stands for.
Sure. All right. So we had 8 contributions. I don't know if someone else is still contributing. Otherwise, yes, trainer, facilitator, consultant, youth worker, game designer, whatever society needs me to be. Okay, perfect. So a lot of flexibility and agility. Yes, okay. Okay, perfect. So we have come to the end of this first question. I'm sorry. I see that my computer should be restarting in like 40 seconds. So this is a Kaspersky Security Center notification. Unfortunately, I think I cannot block it. So okay, Sarah, what can we do here? Because I think I will be off for at least 1 or 2 minutes.
Okay, I will.
Yeah.
I will start a conversation or something.
Okay, so I'll do my best. Unfortunately, it's completely.
I know what I'll do. I'll work out how people want to be assigned to different rooms when we get to the room bit.
All right. Okay.
That'll be good use of the time.
All right. Perfect. So, well, thank you very much for all your contributions, and now we should move on. just to give you a quick presentation of the game. So what's happening in this game? So in this game, you will put yourself in the shoes of a large company in the oil markets. So it's 4 companies that are competing to be the market leader. So the competition is tough because you will have to survive to the different strategies of your competitors. So each team will have to implement its strategy. So it's really about strategizing, planification, and anticipation of what your competitors could do to beat you in this market. So it's based on game theory. It's based on equilibriums like Nash equilibrium and other equilibriums in the market. And the idea is that you have to push your team to have the highest earnings at the end of the game to be the winning team. So what's the main KPI for you? It's the earnings before, so the EBITDA, the earnings before tax, depreciation, amortization. Well, that's just a technical word, but let's say that it's all about earnings. So you have a cost of production. There is a market price for this commodity, and you will be all competing for the same demand and trying to have a bigger shares in the market. So the important fact is that you have to have the highest EBITDA, not at the first, second, or third round, but at the end of the game. So meaning that it's not only having a strategy for the current round, but implementing a strategy up to the final round. So that's why you will have to consume and analyze data regarding the markets, regarding the competitors, and regarding your position compared to these competitors. So how does the game happen? So you will have in the platform a view of the 5 rounds that you will be playing. As I said, it's a succession of game rounds. Each round is representing a year of the life of the company. You will have to make decisions on a set of categories each round for each team. And you will be able to simulate. So simulating different scenarios regarding your company and regarding your competitors. So it's very based on simulation, on scenarios, and on anticipating what could your competitors do to beat you. So once the team is convinced of a scenario, you will be able to definitely validate this scenario and send your decisions in the platform. So at the beginning, it's a lot of simulation. You will create many scenarios, but once all the team is convinced of what's the best scenario for them, they will say, okay, let's send this scenario and we'll validate our decision, final decision. We have 2 markets to supply, North America and China. And there are only these 4 teams that coexist in these 2 markets. So no foreign players. And each team's decision directly affects the opportunities or challenges of other teams. We also have the data about the global demand. So you will have to analyze what is the demand, what is the supply, and how you should behave regarding those indicators. You can also analyze all the markets, the competitors, and the strategic decisions. So you have 5 categories of decisions. So regarding the marketing, the HR, the maintenance, the R&D for reducing cost of production, and also R&D for improving the capacity of your plants. And each decision will cost you a budget that you already know that you will see. But also it improves your company indicators in terms of costs, capacity, and yes, shipping costs for the both markets. Yeah, so that's it. And here you can see a view of the simulation part where each team would be able to simulate for their company and also for the competitors. So that's why we have this kind of matrix view. And from here you will be able to see what would be the hypothetical outputs of this set of decisions for you, supposing that your competitors will be doing this set of decisions. So it's as I said, it's many anticipations. It's a lot about anticipating and trying to figure out what's the best scenario. How knowing what could without knowing what could my competitors do. Okay.
Cool.
I don't know if you have questions so far. I said many things, but I just want to make sure it's okay. You're still following.
Yeah, I've got a couple. So if I've understood it correctly, the teams will be going into breakout rooms and they'll be discussing amongst themselves, but they can make sort of preliminary decisions to test out their theories before they make a final decision for the round. Is that right?
Yes, exactly. They could for each round test many configurations, what I call scenario. So test many configurations and then choose what is the best configuration for their company in each breakout room. Okay.
And the other question is slightly more logistical one. So I see that the presentation, the labels are in French. Will we need to be translating, or is there?
Yeah, no, I've done this job. It's already translated in English.
Yeah.
For
I just thought I'd check in case some people were feeling a bit nervous about that idea.
No. Yeah, indeed, it's my first one in English, so I did the job. I'm not sure it's 100% perfect, but I did my best. So
yeah,
but don't hesitate.
It's a question designed to reassure people who might be going, I won't be able to play this.
Yeah, of course. So yes, we'll see directly this in the platform so that I can help you more about how to use it. So yes, this is the simulation part. This is where you will be spending a lot of time, because this where will be the testing different configurations. And when you test a configuration, when you click on simulate, you will have like a dashboard or indicators to analyze. So regarding you and your competitors, in terms of earnings, in terms of produced total capacity, total sales, what's the cost of producing the oil barrel, what's the cost to ship it to North America and to China, and you will have those dashboards that will construct some graphs. Once we will be in the next rounds, you will see the evolution, etc.
Okay.
So yeah.
Just to let people know, I will be coming into one room, and I can join in and play with the people in that room if that's useful, or I can just keep my mouth shut if it's not. But the reason I'll be popping in is to do a recording within that room, because otherwise there won't be much for people to see gameplay wise when this goes up on Ludogogy. So just to give you a warning, I may be popping in to see you and recording you. That's okay with everybody?
Yes, perfect. So I will be sending in the discussion the link to the platform, so you can access here. So I don't know, Sarah, if you have done the affectation of the teams.
I have. Do you need to know what that is?
No, just to let you know. So to access, it's okay. Let me share this screen with you.
So do people need to be saying which team they're on when they go into that link?
Maybe if you have been affected to the room 1, you will be team 1, and to log in, it's demo_team1, and the password is the same as the login.
Okay. So would it be a good idea for me to, for everybody to open up that screen now, but not to assign themselves to a team before I open the breakout rooms? I have assigned people, but I might not have assigned people in the way I said I was going to, because I kind of forgot where I'd said I was going to put people. So
no, we can do this now. So if we can say what's the affectation of every team.
Okay.
And then we have to have one, let's say one captain or one leader in every team, because obviously every team will be sending one set of decisions. You all will be able to test some configurations, but there is only one of the members that's let's say the captain will have to send the final decisions.
So one of you will have to take responsibility. So I've got the rooms set up in front of me. So in room 1, Antonios, Hanshika, and Salma. So just make a note of which room you're in, so which team you're in. Room 2, Hind and Mickey. Room 3, Anshul and Brian. and room 4, Kathy and Kritika.
Okay, so yes, you can start by logging in using demo_team and the number of your room or your team, and and I will be opening the rounds right now. So
yeah, so let's make sure everybody, let's all stay in the same room and make sure everybody's logged in okay before we.
Okay, so on my side,
I've got a message from Hanshika saying it says incorrect username. So just explain, just go through the username again, Youssef.
Yes, I can show that to you. So the link it's platform-staging.nowedge.io. Okay. So and then for accessing it's demo_team. So demo_team. It's a team1, and it's the same password. So when you connect,
the password would also be demo_team1. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Okay.
So once you're in, you will see this kind of module, and you can access to the game from this button here.
Super, Hanshika.
And then you can go to access. Yes, some of the titles are still in French. I'm sorry for that, but you'll see. I will give you all the necessary information. It's not a big deal. So once you are in at this place, okay, it means that you are ready to go to the first round.
Okay,
and,
Brian says he's not able to connect.
Okay, which team?
It says its progress bar is spinning.
Okay.
Are you? I'm not sure. I can't see you at the moment. Brian, have you got your camera switched on? Because it might be worth switching your camera off. If you...
Yeah. Hey. Oh, it just popped up. Never mind. Just
okay. Maybe you might want to switch your camera off to give yourself a bit more system resource.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I missed. What's the password?
Demo_team.
You are, so you're it was demo_team and then the digit, so you're room 2, so you'll be demo_team2, and the password is the same.
Oh, okay.
Oh, we've just got a new person just arrived. She's going to be thrown in at the deep end. Hello, Sarah. Not quite sure how to pronounce your name. Are you there?
Okay, so once everybody is connected, so I will open the round. So this is my facilitator view. That's for facilitators that are present with us today. So I have the possibility to play and stop each round. Yes, and yeah, so I can open the first round right away. Okay, so once I've done this, you as a player, you will see that the round 1 is open. So you can go ahead and click on the first round, and you will start playing.
Okay.
So once everybody is here, I will give some explanations, and then you will be able to go in your specific room and start simulating, strategizing, and making decisions.
Okay. We've just had a new person join, so Sarah, I'm not sure how to pronounce your name. I've put you on team 4. Oh, Kathy's back. I think Kathy must have dropped off. I've put you on team 4. You're going to get an explanation now of how everything works. I'm just popping in the chat the web address that you need to connect up to play the game, because you won't have seen messages that arrived before you got here, and you need to log in using team_ and then the number, which will be 4, and the password will be team_4 as well. Welcome back, Kathy. Okay, carry on. Sorry for that interruption, Youssef.
No problem. Okay, so yeah, maybe I just would put this message here for those who would join later. Okay. All right. Okay, so let me know. Have you team one? Who is in?
Yeah.
Antonio, Sanshika, and Salma, are you all in? I will take silence as the a positive answer.
I guess. I mean, I see this.
Yes. Okay.
I
Perfect.
see the same that you're showing now. So that's, yeah.
Yes, that's a good sign indeed. So team two.
Hind and Mickey.
Nikki is on the first screen. I do not see what Youssef has up right now.
So when you mean the first screen, this one?
No, I'm still. Then you click at the very beginning. Join any module, maybe.
I'm sorry, I don't hear you very good.
Joining the module, I think you said.
Joining. Okay. So yes, if you are here, so joining the module, the module is already in place. Then you just have to click on the blue button saying business game. And once you've clicked that, you come to the this is a video, a teaser of the game. But when you scroll down, you have a button to go to StratEdge.
I'm sorry, the blue button, the first blue button you said to click on is where?
It's completely at the bottom of the page.
And I mean, the first.
The first one
you had to click on to get.
Do you see my screen?
Yes. I don't see. I'm not there. I'm before that even.
Before there. Okay. So you are here.
Yes.
Okay. So you just click inside this this card.
Okay. All right. Okay.
And then on the blue button saying business game.
Okay.
And then on the next page, you scroll completely down and you have a button to access to StratEdge. So.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Who else needs some guidance? So, is team 3 ready?
Yep, I think so.
Okay. Team 4?
I know Sarah's in because she said she's got it. Tika and Kathy? Oh, Kathy just wants to follow along at this point to observe, so that's fine.
Yeah, I could log in.
Okay, perfect. So, once you are here, let me give you just some brief explanations. So here you have a kind of analysis menu. Then you have all the simulation and scenarios parts. It's the second element. And then this is the results part. So when we go to the analysis part, we have brief description of the product. Okay, so it's a barrel of oil. This is only general information to put you in context. Then you come to the analysis of the competitors, where you will see that these are the 4 companies that are competing in the market. So we have Total, which is a French company that has 1,000 capacity of production, $300 cost for each barrel, $50 cost of transportation for market 1 and also for market 2. And same for other competitors, which are Shell, China Petroleum, and Saudi Aramco. So these are the 4 competitors that are starting at the same point. Everybody has the same initial, let's say, cost of production and capacity and cost of transportation. Okay. Then you will have the markets. So first market, it's North America. This is the demand data. So in the first year, we have 2,700 units that we need to fulfill for the North American markets. Then it will start increasing to 2,835. Then it will, let's say, it will be in stagnation, and then it starts to decrease. For the Chinese markets, we have a kind of similar behavior, but with different data points that you need to integrate in your reflection to determine how you calibrate your production and your competitiveness in those specific rounds. Do you have any questions so far regarding competition and markets? If no, we can move to the strategic decisions. So as I said before, we have 5 categories of decisions. So regarding the R&D, for reducing the cost of production, for improving the capacity of the plants, for marketing purpose, for HR, and for maintenance. And each decision has a budget and also has impacts on your company. So the impacts here are known. There is no volatility or uncertainty regarding those impacts. Also, the budget is known, and those same set of decisions will stay at the different rounds. So round 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you will have those same strategic decisions. So just to have that in mind for when you will be simulating and building your strategy. So as you can see, the impacts are regarding costs and capacity. Okay. When we say costs here, it's the cost of production, meaning that the 300, when we say that we have a $300 cost for producing, so meaning that if I choose this this decision, I will be reducing my costs from 300 to 300 minus 4% of the 300, and it will cost me $18,000, knowing that I start with an initial budget of $20,000, and if I don't consume this budget this year, it will stay for the next year. And from the year 1 to the year 2, I will also all the sales that I will do, sales minus cost, let's say, that's what I will be able to reinvest in the next round. Okay, so that's it. I think you have all the elements. So once you have this analysis part, so this is the place where you will be analyzing, and then you will be able to simulate. So simulating, it's this kind of matrix where you see your company. So your company is circled by this blue ribbon, and you see that you have this initial budget and those initial costs and capacity for your company. But you see also for competitors. And for example, if I say I am Total, I would like to know if Shell is implementing this decision, so building an offshore platform in Africa, in Gabon, they will be decreasing their cost of production by 4%. So I see that their cost of production will decrease to $288. They will still have the same capacity and the same transportation cost. So suppose Shell is doing this, and also, I don't know, Sinopec is doing this decision, building a solar plant that will also reduce their cost of production, and the Saudi company is more on the, let's say, on improving their capacity, so improving capacity by 8% and reducing the cost by 1.7%. Okay, so, and me, Total, I don't do nothing. I will keep my $20,000 to the next year. For example, this is kind of maybe someone will think like that. I'm not sure it's a good idea. I launched the simulation, and here I can see the hypothetical, let's say, future or end of year, where I can see that my company is, of course, still having a budget to invest because I didn't do any investments. But what I should be looking at is my earnings. You see here, my earnings is like 3,600, while the others are having more earnings because they did some investments on their cost and capacity and they are selling more units. I'm selling 720, while the competitors are selling more than 1,000 units. Okay. So so that's it. At this point, you have just done simulation. You can save your scenario. For example, here I will be saving this scenario if I think that is one of the good scenarios that I would like to keep in mind, and I can start again simulating here. Okay, for example, let's try this. Just I'm not checking the data. I'm just showing you how you should what's the workflow in the tool. So for example, I will also save this scenario. Okay, and then once we have checked all the scenarios and tested different configuration, we can come to here where we have the saved scenarios, and you can find them again. Okay, and once you have made your final decision, you choose the scenario, and then you click on send the decision. So this is final, and you cannot come back from here. So this is the final decision for the first round for this for this team, for example. Okay, so I will be cleaning this to give you not to impact your work, and that's it. So you can start from here.
Okay. So shall I put people in the rooms then?
Yes, if there are no questions, we can start going to the rooms, and you can start playing on your own and figuring out what would be the best strategy for your team.
I'll be coming and joining you in room 2, Mickey, because Hinder's had to go. So that's where I'll be joining you in there in a second. Don't be alarmed if you're in there on your own for a minute or two. Yeah. Okay. Oh, and Brian's now on his own in room 3 as well. Did you want to go into? Oh no, Hanshika's back. Oh dear, there's people getting kicked out of Zoom left, right, and centre. Okay.
Yeah, I'm getting kicked out as well, so I'm
lovely.
trying, but it's
technology's great, isn't it? Let me just put Hanshika back in there where she came from, and yeah, okay. Youssef, I don't know if you wanted to go and join Brian in room 3 at least for some of the time, just so he's got somebody to talk to.
Yes. Did you give me the rights to be able to move from the rooms? I think since I logged off, yes.
Okay, I will. So I'm going to put you in room 3 with.
But before, can you give me the right? Yeah, the co-host to be able to see the different rooms.
Oh, are you not a co-host anymore?
Yes, because I had my computer had to start again.
Ah, right. Yes, there we go. I didn't think about
okay.
that.
Perfect.
Okay. Kathy's had to give up. She's got a big electrical storm where she is, so she keeps getting kicked out. Isn't technology wonderful? Anyway, okay, so I'm going to open the rooms now. I'll see you in room 2 in a second, Mickey. So I think what we need to do now is we need to try out a few different bits and pieces. Is that right? So we've got oil, and so that's the product analysis, competitor analysis. Okay, so it looks like we're total. So we have 1,000 capacity. We've got 300 cost of transport is 50 to market 1, and cost of transport is 50 to market 2. Oh, it looks like everybody's the same at the moment.
Everybody's the same.
Yeah, looks like everybody's the same. So the market
differences are in the revenue of each company and number of employees of each company. They're different sizes.
Yeah.
But the capacity and the cost is the same.
Oh, is there different okay. So there's nothing, there's no difference in the product, obviously, because we're all doing the same thing. There doesn't appear to be much difference. Oh, the revenue, yes, okay. I couldn't see what you were talking about there, but I can see it now. So the revenue. So we are, if we're total, I'm not sure. Oh, no, hang on. So we must be China Petroleum. So we've got 640,000 employees, and we've got a revenue of 7.629 million. So ours is the least revenue of any of the companies at the moment. We'll have to see what we can do about that. So the market analysis.
I guess my biggest takeaway there is the North America demand
is the biggest.
more than double.
Yeah,
China.
and they are, they're market one, I'm presuming. So, although we're China Petroleum, at least I think we are, because we're team 3, we would probably be better off.
I think we're team 2. Are we team 2?
Are we team 2?
Team 2.
Sorry. Oh God, right, we're team 2. Yeah. So we would be better off shipping, in any case, we would be better off shipping everything off to America if we can. So we're Royal Dutch Shell.
Okay.
I think we should just play around with some. Play around with some. So how do I get to the strategic decision making? Okay. So we could build solar plants. Now, I must admit to feeling somewhat ambivalent about an oil and gas strategic decision-making thing. So I'm quite drawn to building a solar power plant, but whether or not that would increase our revenue, I don't know. I guess we just try it out. So we've got R&D cost, R&D capacity, we've got marketing, we've got human resources, and we've got maintenance.
I guess what we need to decide is, do we want to invest in the early years in R&D or building new capacity, or do we want to, sell as much as we can now?
Well, let's try. Should we try R&D?
Okay.
So building a storage unit or optimizing production yield. I'm not quite sure how we select these decisions.
I think you just don't you just scroll down?
Oh, start a simulation. There we go. There we go.
Yeah.
So if you click on start a simulation, you get something that looks like that. Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah,
yep.
Cool.
I got it.
So let's have a look at R&D cost first. Building an offshore. So which would you fancy? Building an offshore platform, building a solar power plant, or digitizing production monitoring? I'm going to try digitizing production monitoring and see what happens. Do you see what I'm doing on my screen because we're logged in as the same team?
I think I'm working independently. Let me try
weird.
something else. Start. When I click on start a simulation, I get the results. The summary page. Then I have to go back to get to where I can make the choices. But no, you go ahead. You click on one and I'll see if it pops up, but I don't think it is.
Well, I hope I am logged in the right thing. Yes, I did log in as team 2. That should. But it's strange if we're the same team.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm going to go down. I'm going to go over to marketing. And I'm going to click on start a market study. Click on that. It shows up in my little box. Did you see that come up?
No. Possibly I need to. So, okay, we can always ask Youssef about this in the thing. So you tell me what you want to do, and I'll put it in. So you said launcher, start a market study, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then for let's see, for R&D cost, let's not do anything right now. And for
Okay.
R&D capacity, let's optimize production.
Yep.
And for maintenance, we'll just say preventive maintenance, the
Okay.
second one.
Yeah, that sounds like the least we can do to stop things leaking.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, should we just run that and see what happens? So I presume I click on start the simulation. Okay. So who did we decide we were?
Royal
Dutch
Dutch Shell.
We're currently sitting third. So that's no good.
I see mine has us, and mine says we're in fourth place. Based on the, I take that back. Fourth. Yeah, we're fourth. We're
So hang on, let me
from the
check.
standpoint of
So I put in my
the
simulation.
earnings. We're fourth in earnings.
Fourth in earnings. Okay.
I have we're 21,771.
That's total. We're Royal Dutch Shell, aren't we?
Mm-hmm.
I've got 23,380 for Royal Dutch Shell here.
Huh. That's I'm showing for China Petroleum. Maybe you logged into Team 3.
I can't.
Well, but we're together. I don't know how that happened.
No, I'm not quite sure here. I can't actually see what I'm logged in as. No, I'm definitely logged in as Team 2.
Okay. Well, the number you gave me for Royal Dutch is the number that I have for China Petroleum.
Yeah. Oh, I know why. It's because when you're putting, so this is a bit weird. So what I didn't realize in the simulation screen, there's 4 rows. So I was putting that in for total. It looks like you can simulate for all of the teams.
Oh yes, yeah. I think potentially you could run a scenario for you and all your competitors at the same time.
So when you put yours in, presumably you put it in the shell.
Yes.
Row. That'll be where we're differing. That's quite unusual, isn't it? Because normally in a simulation you would just carry out decisions for your own team. You wouldn't really have any impact on somebody else's team or whatever. Okay, so
so you're having to forecast what your competitor does and try to counteract that.
Yes, I've got that we're fourth now. Okay.
Okay.
So we've actually got a situation then, if we do nothing and our competitor does what we've done, we actually end up third.
Yeah.
So we're in theory better off not spending our money I'm just letting everybody else do something. Okay. This shows that I wasn't actually listening very hard at all when Youssef was doing all the explanation, because I was too busy setting up rooms and doing all the technical stuff. So this is why you're not in a good position being lumbered with me and your team, because I don't even know what I'm doing. Right. Okay. Now I do know what I'm doing. Shall we? I
said we're going back in 54 seconds. We're going back to the main room, so we need to save this scenario.
Yep. How do we save it? Can you remember?
It's a blue button at the bottom. At the if you have the summary screen, there should be a blue button at the bottom.
Okay. The summary screen. Okay.
Hello again.
Hi.
Hi.
How was it?
It was a learning curve.
Yeah, for the first round is a bit hard because you have to discover all the elements. I think 10 minutes is not enough. But yeah, we were doing the process with Brian, and yeah, there is a learning curve for the first one, but on the second, third, and fourth, it's quicker.
That might just be me. It takes a while for me to learn. No, I'm just kidding.
No. So I don't know if it was enough. There was enough time for you to send decisions or no. Sarah, how did it go? Yeah.
We tried out one scenario because I must admit, because I wasn't expecting to play, so I wasn't listening dreadfully carefully to your instructions. I was doing all sorts of things like setting up breakout rooms. So it took me a little while to work out exactly how to do it all. But Mickey had listened far more carefully. So we tried out one thing and we sent that eventually. I don't think we did very well. I think we're currently lying fourth. And actually the scenario when I put it in the wrong place and had Total doing what we did and us doing nothing, we actually ended up third. So it looks like we might have been better off doing nothing and just letting our competitors get on with it.
Okay, so just to make sure, because there is some echo. Okay, let me just explain something, because maybe not everybody has catched this information. Once you do a simulation, for example, here I'm not taking any decision. You have here the possibility to save the scenario, and this is different from validating and sending the final scenario. This is just saving it. Okay. It's not here. You haven't sent any data to the platform. It's just for you to keep your scenario. You have to go on saved scenarios and choose the one that you have. I see here on this team, bravo, because we see that this green check mark, meaning that you have sent this scenario. Okay. So this team has done the job perfectly. So I'm just asking for the other teams, when you go to saved scenarios, do you have a green check mark here, meaning that you have sent your final decision to the platform? Just to be sure that everybody sent, and it's not only on your local configuration.
Yes, we've sent. Team 2 have sent.
Okay, team 3, team 4. Brian?
Yeah, I think we locked that in, right?
Yeah, I have a blue or green tick for team 4 as well.
Okay, perfect. So if everybody did this, I can stop the round, and then we will start having some feedback about how each team behaved, if that's okay for you.
Yeah.
Okay, so stopping the round. Okay, so when we finish this first round, it seems that Total Saudi Aramco are in the first place, but when I see that they didn't take any investment decision. So is it true? I see that you have not improved any of your capacity, your cost of production. Whereas I see that Shell has done some capacity improvements and cost reduction. So that's why we can see that their earnings are at the top. So do you confirm Team Total and Team Saudi Aramco? I think some of you did not send completely their decisions, because if I see here, I can see that only Royal Dutch Shell has sent this set of decisions.
Can you show again real quick how to save the decision? I remember saving the scenario simulation.
Yes.
But maybe there's an extra step, sorry.
So basically it's here on saved scenarios. You choose the scenario and then you click on send the decision or validate the decision.
I missed that one, sorry. Got it.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I've got a feeling our victory is going to be short-lived, Mickey, because everybody else is going to be sending their decisions now.
Okay, no worries. So let's start the second round. Yeah.
I was going to say punctuality should count for something.
Yes, it should, shouldn't it? It's a virtue, isn't it?
Yes.
So I'll be opening the second round because this first one is a let's say no luck for those who did not validate their decisions. So meaning that now Shell has a huge advance on the other ones, because they will have the possibility to leverage on this good first year, whereas the 3 other companies, they did not take any decision. So we'll see the impacts of that in the next rounds. So right now,
sorry, but that was confusing for me. I could see that I could run the simulation for all companies, and I had no idea which is our company.
Oh, okay, I understand. So that's if you go to the simulation part, you'll see that there is this blue color over your company.
Yeah, I think this is very subtle.
Yeah, I know. I that's why I kind of tried to say it at the beginning, but I can understand that. Yeah, it's not that clear for everybody. Sorry for that.
Sarah, I'm just looking at the breakout rooms now because Kathy had to go, and I think I can't remember the other lady's name. It's also left. You're in the room on your own, so you can either carry on in room 4 on your own, or I can reassign you to room 2 if you like, but that would mean changing your team. You'd have to log out and log back in.
I'm okay playing around with it on my own.
Okay, that's cool. That's fine. And then Sarah's going to win now.
Yeah. So if you need any help in the rooms, just try to write to me. I will try to come to your room and help you with the process.
Excellent. So, are we ready to open the rooms again?
Yes.
Let me just check. So it was actually 15 minutes. It seemed to go really quickly. But yes, the rooms are open for 15 minutes. So off we go.
Yes. So just for you, you will see that that this round 2 is now open. Okay.
Yeah. Excellent.
Yes. So you just have to click on here on the logo, and you will come back to the rounds and select round 2, and you will see the decisions. You will see the results of the first round. So you can analyze all this, the real world situation now at the end of first year. So we see Shell has done some decisions, but not the rest of the competitors. Okay.
Excellent. Okay, 3, 2, 1. We're back in the room. So I'm a bit confused because I could have sworn Youssef said to us that we finished on top. But to me, it looks like we finished at the bottom. Maybe we're not Royal Dutch Shell.
Well, see, when he said the blue circle,
Yeah, let's have a look
would
at
tell
the,
you who you are.
I we might have misinterpreted who we
The blue
are.
circle. I think we're total.
Oh,
Blue
right.
circle.
Okay. So we did in fact make decisions for another team and come out on top, but never mind.
I don't
Yeah.
understand.
No, it's slightly confusing, I have to say, working out which team you're in, and also the idea that you're making decisions for other teams, which is a bit weird. But,
Yeah.
but anyway.
All right.
Okay, so we've got
reset, yes.
the same kind of decisions. And we want to start a simulation. So this time we're total. So I guess the way it does is it puts your, so when I made the decisions initially, I was actually putting them in the right place because we were the top team. I guess it puts you.
Okay.
Okay. So let's see if we can try out a few more different scenarios this time. So I'm going to try building a solar power plant. Let's see if we can institute.
Okay.
And that's quite expensive. So it means that it really limits the other things I can do. So I can't do drilling exploration wells or optimizing production yield. I can build a storage unit. And I think to go along with my solar power plant, I'm going to try and launch a promotional campaign, which is very, very cheap. $412.
Yeah.
I'm going to train some employees and update the equipment database. Let's see what that does. It puts us in 4th place. But having said that, we haven't taken into consideration what any of the other folk are doing. I think that's the bit I find quite challenging, the idea that you're kind of guessing what other people are going to do.
Uh-huh. Where in here do we talk about who we're trying to sell to?
That's the point. Maybe there are other decisions about your, because I'm trying to remember back to when I saw, and Youssef demoed this to me a few weeks ago. And I think there are different decisions in different rounds. So maybe there's decisions about segmenting your market or
Okay, gotcha.
in other rounds, if you see what I mean.
Well, let's give these other companies some expense somehow.
Yeah. I'm going to say that Shell are going to build an offshore platform in Gabon because that's kind of the sort of thing they like to do. And they're going to start a market study. Yes, if we give the rest of them something to do and then change our own decisions, that might be something. Okay. And We should have asked him, shouldn't we, about the connectedness of our decisions, because it's a bit strange that we're not seeing
Yeah.
when we're both logged in with the same. Okay, so who's that? That must be China. I'm going to have them drill 2 wells and train employees. Going to have Saudi Aramco digitize production monitoring and do a roadshow with customers. Let's start the simulation and see what happens. And that puts us in 3rd place. So let's mess around with our results now.
What if we delete the building a storage unit?
Okay, yep. That's the way to go. And that's spoken like a true repurposed engineer. Change one parameter and see what happens. So let's get rid of the storage unit. And I didn't pay any attention to what happened when before we had the so we got 20058. Let me go back and put the storage unit back in and see what it does. Yeah, the storage unit is definitely hitting our money. So let's take that out. There's nothing else we can do in that column, but I suspect that's possibly because we've spent the money on building the solar power plant. So let's see what happens if we take that out. Okay, so that we've got a lot more money, but potentially that's because obviously the money we spend comes out of what we've got left over. So we probably need to be a little bit more analytical, looking at the figures that underneath rather than just the raw figure.
Mm-hmm.
So let me put that back in.
So we have the lowest capacity.
Okay, so let's see what happens with our capacity if I put the solar power plant back in. So I'll tell you what, you keep an eye on the results and I'll keep in the simulation, and then we don't have to keep swapping in between the two.
Well, I can't update the results unless I'm making the same change as you are.
No, that's true. Oh yes, because we're not connected, are we? Oh, right. No. So the capacity is now 1,000. That's still the lowest capacity.
Maybe that's because we did solar instead of oil production.
Let's try. Much as I'm loath to put in more oil capacity, let's replace that with an offshore platform and see what happens. Oh no, that's not good. It ups our capacity a little bit. But what does it do with our volume?
Really increased our earnings a lot.
It's increased the EBITDA quite a lot, isn't it?
Yeah. Who's this? We need to do something Royal Dutch to bring them down.
Yeah.
Because their capacity went up, their earnings went up as much as percentage-wise as much as ours did.
Yeah.
So that was Shell, because they've done the same thing. They've done offshore platforms. So why don't we just take that away from them?
Yeah.
And just let them digitize production monitoring.
I presume when it saves a scenario, what it's actually doing is it's saving your decisions, not the entire scenario.
Yeah, you got to go out and come back in. You got to hit start simulation again. So when I did that, then our earnings are real close to Shell's. We made a huge jump in earnings.
Yeah. Okay. I might have got a little bit lost now. So what's the situation now? What have we done? We've got offshore platform.
Yep.
Promotional campaign, training employees, and updating equipment database.
Right.
Okay. So,
You want to save that one?
yes.
Submit.
Yeah, save that one. Right. Shall we try something else then? Let's
save the scenario.
Right, let's try digitizing production monitoring. Optimize production yield. That's all around production, isn't it? Do some marketing, because obviously if we've optimized our yield, we want to sell all the stuff we've produced. We'll not do anything with human resources. Update the equipment database. Let's see what that does. That puts us in third place. Surprisingly, it hasn't increased our capacity much. So what would increase our capacity? Maybe instead of digitizing production monitoring, oh, that's the only choice I've got. Be interesting to know what it is that grays out these options. Okay.
So for us, what have you got now? What are the scenarios? What's this new
scenario? At the moment, I've got optimize production yield, launch a promotional campaign, and update the equipment database. But it means the only thing I can do in R&D is digitizing the production monitoring. So there's something that's stopping me doing. Oh yeah, so in R&D capacity, if I have optimized production yield, it means I can't build an offshore platform or a solar plant.
All right, I'm gonna go back. We need to, we're about to time out. So I need to go to our save scenarios.
Okay.
And
well,
I've got scenario 2. I think that's the one that we liked most recently.
Yep.
To send that decision.
Yep, send that as a decision. Oh yes. Doesn't quarter of an hour go really quickly when you're trying to solve a puzzle?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, you've done that?
All right, see you on the other side.
Yeah, rightio.
Yes, so how did it go for this second one?
the decision making was easier, sort of learning how to, having learned how to use all the buttons and everything.
Yes, I think we should have played one round for trying and making errors. It would have been easier.
My daughter
But,
always does that when we're playing board games. She loses horribly in the first round and goes, "But that was just a practice." And then we have to stop.
Yeah. So I was just making sure that everybody sent scenarios. So I am logging in instead of at the place of each team. So I have here team 4. I see that the decision was not made. Maybe just to be sure, which scenario are you sending as your final? I like that there are many scenarios saved, meaning that you have done some simulation. That's good. So which one is the final one? Team 4.
So I did choose scenario 4 and clicked on send decision. And it said, "Are you sure you want to choose this scenario?" I say yes. And then it says, "You've chosen scenario 1 as the final scenario," but it seems to have confirmed, but I did that twice, and you're saying it still hasn't shown up for you. So I'm not sure what's happening.
Oh, okay.
I had a similar experience. I saved scenario 2 and I confirmed it, but then it told me afterwards I saved scenario 1.
Okay, so here I see that it checked the mark, but yes, I wrote that down so that I can investigate maybe if there is a bug here. So sorry for that. But I see now that's saved. So I will try it again. So when I go to the saved, so now I see that scenario 4 is saved for team 4. So maybe there is a lag or
Bit of lag, yeah.
Yeah, maybe something is bugging. So just to do a quick check. So team 1, I will check just before closing the round. So in the saved scenarios, I see that it's scenario 1. That's good. Team 1, you chose scenario 1. I like that you have simulated for you and for the competitors. So that's good, meaning that you're planning for the better planning for the future. Okay, and then team 2. Let's check. Okay. So team 2, you have chosen scenario 2. So that's perfect. Team 3, I already did the check. So now I will be closing the round 2, and we'll see the new configuration. So as you can see right now, the market is becoming much more competitive because everybody is investing in strategic decisions. The level of EBITDA has decreased because it's a more competitive market. So now Shell is the leader with 9,900, but we see that their EBITDA is lower than previously because the competitors are starting to make some strategic moves. So what are these strategic moves? So if we take Saudi Aramco, we see that they have reduced their costs by 5%, improved their total capacity by 9%, and we see that they have the same production costs as Shell. So as you know, in a commodity markets, the price has a huge impact because the lower you produce, you will be the first to serve the markets. Yes. So, okay, let's keep on the feedback. I think here we have some interesting facts. So as I said, we have the 2 market leaders that have the lower cost, 284, but also we see that that Saudi Aramco has done nice improvements, and they are competing now with Shell. So they are really competitive in terms of cost. They are less competitive in terms of capacity because Shell has invested in capacity in the first round and have done the same also in the second round. So meaning they are a leader in terms of capacity in the market. And if we compare this to Total and Sinopec, we see that Total is $3 higher in terms of cost of production. So meaning that they will serve the markets after Shell and after Saudi Aramco. And also after Sinopec, because Sinopec is $1 less in terms of production cost. So that's the reason why we see that Total is only selling 577 units, whereas the competitors are serving above 1,000. And this is due to their higher costs of production, and that the fact that it's a market where the supply is higher than the demand. So the price is the main driver in this kind of configuration. It's like a price war. So everybody is competing about the price to be sure that they will be able to liquidate their production and stocks. Okay, so here we can analyze the decrease of Shell due to the starting competition from mainly Saudi Aramco and China Petroleum. We see that Total is not really in an upward trend. So due to this decision of due to this fact that their cost is the higher in the markets. Okay, so that's also what we can see here. So Total has the higher costs, but it's like a $2, $3 range between the higher and the lower. So it's a really competitive market here. So that's why also in terms of earnings, since everybody is competing with each other, the margins are very low. Because if you had one market leader and one very far, let's say, very far company in terms of costs, the margins will be higher. Why? Because the price is fixed with what we call the margin, the marginal actor in the markets. So yeah, this is some kind of let's say more theoretical elements that we usually present in this kind of experience. But yeah, I think I can stop here and hear what you have to say regarding this new configuration. Any comments? Any questions?
Looking at the time,
yeah.
I know you're intending to run 5 rounds, but that never works out in these kind of things. So it might be time, because it's kind of 20 to 6 now, or 20 to whatever, 20 to the end of the meeting anyway. So it might be time for people to maybe ask a few questions relating to their own use cases. Any other questions they've got, any feedback they've got, and so on? Yes.
Okay, so I can stop here and we can move to maybe more questions and feedback. I would love to hear from your feedback, if that's okay. All right, so
I think one of the bits of feedback sort of goes back from me anyway, which goes back to what Antonios was saying earlier, is that it is slightly confusing about working out whose team is what, and also personally for me, I found it slightly challenging that I could make decisions, or it seemed like I was making decisions for my competitors, but I guess I'm not making decisions for my competitors. That when I submit a scenario, that what I'm doing is only submitting my own decisions. Is that right?
Yes, in fact, you are simulating for you and for competitors. Yeah. But when you send the decision, of course, you are only sending for your own company. The platform will not take the other elements in charge. Okay. And the other thing that we kept forgetting to ask every time we came out of our breakout room was, we were making decisions and running scenarios, but we weren't able to see, even though we were a team and we were both logged in with the same login, we weren't able to see each other's decisions. It didn't seem to be connected. Is that right? Or can you explain that again? So when you are playing, okay, so for example here.
Yeah, so Mickey and I were both logged in as team 2.
Mm-hmm.
but we appeared to be working independently, in that in order for us to get the same results, we had to both independently make the same decisions. It wasn't.
Now, my screen did not reflect entries that she was making on our same round.
So I was kind of expecting, as we were both logged in as the same team, that we would see maybe one of us would be making decisions, and the other one would be able to see what was going on that screen. But is that not the way it works?
You see only this screen, but you could be logged in, each of you, but each of you can simulate on his own. You will not be seeing what the other is doing as simulation.
Right. Okay. So
are we able to say the safe scenarios from others at least?
Yes, of course. Safe scenarios, we will see them. The idea is that each of you can run simulations on his own, and then suggest that this is the best scenario, and then you discuss and you try to convince others that this is the best scenario.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
So for example, here I'm logged with the team 2, just to show you how it works.
Yeah.
So I'm logged with team 2, so I can simulate on my own, and you, Sarah, also you can play as team 2. And I can run the simulation. You will not see any of this, but once I will save the scenario, you also will see it here, and I can ask you to choose this one if you are convinced.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense now you explain that. Definitely.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hey, so this is Brian. I was curious as far as I wouldn't say the type of game, but kind of what you're competing on and the different categories that you can adjust. Is that customizable in any way? Like if we want to throw in, instead of capacity, maybe it's, market penetration or other things like that. Like how customizable can this get?
Yes, it's pretty customizable. So I have here like my moderator view. You see where I define what's the products, what are the competitors, what is the market, and what are the strategic decisions. So I can go and, for example, duplicate this configuration and say my own configuration, for example, here. And then once I'm here, I will be able to change. So I can, for example, choose the gold market, and then update everything, change the image, change the competitors, and all these elements. The only fixed thing is that the strategic decisions, like we have those 5 categories, we can change their name, okay? But we have to keep like 5 categories of decisions, just to respect this matrix when doing the simulation. But also here, I can change the name of each decision. Also change the impacts, but we need to calibrate this to make sure that the game is let's say there is an equilibrium in the game, and that there is no arbitrage, if I can say that. Okay,
gotcha. Because I was thinking too, it seems very product commodity focused. If there's also opportunity to, and it seems like there might be, to customize it for more service oriented things or other type of things you might sell, and what your business might be doing.
Yeah, sure. You can customize. That was the initial idea. But as I said, for the learning outcomes, there is it's around the supply and demand. So once you have this supply and demand impact on your markets, and it has a huge impact, you can use this, and we can customize. Many things.
Gotcha. Okay.
In general, what we do is that we make a game with a standard configuration, and then we change only the supply, the demand parts. So for here, I can, for example, simulate a crisis. So let's say in the 3rd year, the market is shrinking, and you have a completely different behavior. There are some players that will be out of the market. So there are many configurations you can analyze here, and make people reflect on how they should do strategic thinking in various market configurations.
Okay.
Typically, what kind? How are you sort of implementing this game with clients? Is it a day's worth of play, or presumably there's no sort of asynchronous wouldn't work, but typically how long would an implementation of the game take?
So a game should take between 2.5 hours and 3 hours for the 5 rounds.
Okay.
And in general, we do a game without people having any theoretical background, and then in the afternoon we do some theoretical theory about strategy, what is a SWOT matrix, what's a Porter, and all the theoretical parts that can help understand. We talk about cost curve, we talk about supply and demand, we talk about how the prices are fixed in the commodity market, but we could talk about any other market. No, that's not a problem. So we have all this material that we usually run after the game, and then we go back and we do another game the day after. And here you have players that are really sharper, and they can test their limits, and we change the configuration to see how they adapt to new external elements like demand, like new decision sets, etc.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so if I can take just a few minutes from you just here on this Slido, I would like just to hear maybe some words from you. I know it's a bit difficult for the first match, but I would really love to hear some of your feedback. So if you can join us. And meanwhile, if there are any questions, of course, I am here to answer. I can help you figure out how you can use this, figure out how you can map this to maybe some of your needs or clients' needs. Do
you want to put all your contact details and so on in the chat so that people can stay in touch with you afterwards if they're...
Yes, sure.
I was just going to make an observation that when we first started playing in round one, it seemed like we were trying to become acquainted with the problem itself and all the variables that we were trying to make decisions about took all of our energy, as opposed to trying to think about being strategic. So, the lack of familiarity with the oil commodity market and trying to sort of get a handle on what it was we were really talking about took some time. So I guess we did this. Your explanation how you roll this out with a client over a 2-day period, that makes, if you got that much time to devote to this, I can see how that would be pretty powerful. If you had something you're trying to do in a much more compressed amount of time, I'm thinking you need a simpler problem that was in something that was in the player's everyday experience base, so they wouldn't have to feel like they're having to learn about a commodity that they don't deal with on a regular basis. That makes sense.
Thank you very much, Mickey, for this feedback. Really appreciate it.
It's an ongoing challenge, though, isn't it? It's always very challenging when you've got quite a complex sort of simulation. It's actually getting to that stage where people are familiar enough with how all that works and the subject matter to dive in. It's a non-trivial problem. Definitely.
Yeah, for example, we use this for an MBA, executive MBA, with experienced people, and it was 1 day and a half. They played twice, and half day it was theory use cases about strategy. We used it in a bachelor in a business school where they never heard about strategy. So they really appreciated the experience, but it was live, it was a physical, so in-person experience. So it was easier to use the board and to explain some elements. We also used it in a bank for nearly 200 new joiners of the bank that in the morning they had talks about strategy, about the new strategic plan of the bank, and in the afternoon they were invited to reflect about how this strategic plan would be is important for the bank to implement, and why everyone is important and has a role to play in this new strategic plan. And they did this thanks to the game. So at the end, when you have the feedback of the participants, they say, okay, now I understand why it is important to have a strategic mindset in the company. I understand why my managers they want to implement this new strategic plan. So it creates some alignment, some adoption, and yeah. So many use cases. I understand that there is a difficulty that we can reduce by helping be onboarded on the platform easier.
Yeah.
We had some feedback from Brian. Proposing some pop-ups or some explanations that would help. But yeah, definitely the first game should be only discovering and helping you be on board easier. So
yeah,
so that's it.
I was thinking about pop-ups as well, and maybe a sort of interactive video might help to actually get people to sort of go through the motions of visiting the right parts of the screen to get that muscle memory in there. And then again, then that makes you another problem, because in my experience, people very rarely do their homework before they come to a training course. But it's always worth a try.
You can say I made it.
Yeah, at least you can say you tried. And some people will do it, and then they get rewarded by being the team captain, of course, because they know how to drive it.
Yes. Thank you, Sarah, for your presence.
Yeah, thank you,
Sarah has to
Sarah.
leave. Yeah. So
you haven't put up the Slido thing. You haven't put up the number.
Yeah, I put it, but maybe we are.
I'm heading out as well.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Brian. Take care. So yeah, just for people who can.
Oh, geez, I've just spilled tea all over the floor.
So if you have any ideas of areas of improvement of this game, please feel free to share this. So also, do you see any situation in your own trainings teams or learning experience where you think of that this game could be suitable? Of course, it could be adapted, customized. Yeah, so I don't know if you want to say anything, or are we done?
I would have to say it eventually, so I'll say it now. I'm a climate activist, so
yeah.
Being asked to drill and do things like that as part of any kind of game leaves a bitter taste in my mouth. I prefer working with, even in simulations and games, I prefer simulating companies that ensure we do have a future as a species instead of ones that do the opposite. I
did warn Youssef about this yesterday and asked him what he was going to say. But it's, yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with you, Antonio, but it's just a flavor of the game, isn't it? And that could be changed. So yeah.
So yeah, the commodity could be the environment. You know, we could switch all this configuration and talk about how you can preserve. So it's a resource management. So how can we preserve nature, etc. We see more and more customers asking for that.
I'm heading out too. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, Mickey.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
7. Yeah, I'll have to leave soon as well.
Okay. Cool. Well, thank you everybody for coming, and thank you very much for Youssef for coming to show us the game. And left all his contact details in the chat. So if anybody has any further questions, don't hesitate to get in touch. And hopefully see some of you at the next play session as well.
Yes.